Hey guys, Agamo here. Just wanted to go over some of the recent videos that Coffee Stain put out on the teasers for 1.1 coming soon. And there was one about a month ago and one just, I don't know, like a week ago I think, that has some teasers on what's coming. So I just wanted to go over it and break down what I think about these changes that are coming and maybe speculate on some things that might be coming in the future as well. Just ahead of time, sorry for the bad audio quality. I'm traveling at the moment and I've got a webcam that I'm using for the microphone instead of the normal good one that I have, so sorry for that in advance. So just looking at the first video from about a month ago, you can see just running through the forest as normal, and then the first thing that we see there on the right is a hypertube junction. It looks like there's 3 entry points, well, 1 entry point and 2 exits depending on what direction you're coming in from, but it's got the 3 lights there indicating, and I'm assuming that when you go through it you can hold left or right to go in whichever direction that you want to go. So that'll be really good for navigation around the mid-game there. And then just continuing on to this crashed wreckage with the debris. Looks like you can now dismantle the crashed debris, which is going to be really good because I know in my 1.0 playthrough at the moment there's this big debris in the middle of my base that I built around, so it'd be good to get around that. It also would be really good for the early game as well, because if you can get some of those really hard to make parts from the crash debris early on, it's going to make that progress for unlocking the tiers a lot quicker. So definitely a really good change coming in 1.1 for that. And then I think the last main thing here is that you can destroy those plants now, whereas previously you couldn't. So that's a good win for clearing up some space for your factory. And now we'll just go over and look at the second video. So in this one we can see some potential improvements to building railways. Lots of junctions here, lots of options around the traffic lights, it seems. Now you can build them on the left and right, which is, I believe, in a new thing. And you can see the junctions here now a lot better, where you can actually have them, having them in a circle, making traversal a little bit easier in these junction situations. But one thing that really got me thinking about these hypertube junctions is, if when you go through them, do they increase your speed at all? Because I know that there's kind of like a hypertube cannon meta in the game at the moment, where you blueprint hypertube entrances and exits along in a short amount of space, and you break them up and you go through it and it just launches you like across the map, which I know a lot of people use. So I'm curious, if you go through these junctions, if you do get a speed boost or not, and if you do, then there might be a change around the hypertube cannon setup, where potentially you just have these junctions in a spiral and you just hold left and then you just gain a whole bunch of momentum in a spiral, and then it shoots you out in the direction that you want to go. So if that's the case, that'd be really cool to see. I'm wondering if these changes to hypertubes, they're going to make changes to the hypertube cannon, they make it so that it doesn't work anymore. Hopefully not, but we'll just see what happens in that space. Some more trains crossing here, and it looks like potentially there's some new buildables in there, some new textures. And in here we see this kind of like scaffolding area. This is, I believe this is new, right? It's like scaffolding that you put down and you can put items in it for just display purposes, I think. And then we've got the characters here doing different poses, but I'm not sure if that's new or not. What's really cool in here though is they're using what they call photo mode, and you can put on a whole bunch of different filters to get a whole bunch of different textures when you're using the photo mode, like black and white, than a whole bunch of different ones. So that's really cool for if you want to make some really good photos of your base. Cool little drone port situation going there. And this screen in particular is probably my favorite one because you've got the belt counter here where I don't know if you put these on each belt individually to get a reading of how much is going through it, or it's like a build option where like you build it all the way, you build it with like let's say there's the toggle option, build with or build without the reader on it. But it seems like the reader is only going to read one particular belt, not the whole belt as a whole, because this is counting in what's coming through this little section here, and it looks like there's some merging happening with these mergers here, where more are coming in at each junction, so there's more coming through these counters at each step. So that'll be a really great quality of life feature for, you know, calculating the different rates of the different items that you need for your builds. But one thing that really kind of got me here is I thought maybe that the merging was coming in on the back here, but we just couldn't see it properly. But actually it looks like it's coming up from underneath here. And it looks like it's some sort of like vertical merger that's coming in here. And I was kind of trying to look at it to see if I could make sense of it, but then you can see it a lot better on the right hand side here, where you've actually got one column just coming up and splitting out as it hits each of them. So it seems like there's an addition of some kind of vertical splitter or vertical merger coming in 1.1. And you see all of these constructors here on different levels, and the items are just going up and getting filtered out. So that's going to make building vertically like 100 times easier. I really like that change if that's the case. And I think that's a new light. I don't think I've seen that light before, but maybe I'm wrong. It looks like a new light option, buildable. And on this screen, I didn't really catch it the first time, but you see like the pipes are kind of like, you know, they've got the noodle mechanic where it's kind of like bended around the corner. And I do remember that in 1.0, they added that new feature where you're building belts, and you can do the right angle feature to make it more square automatically when you're lining up different belts. And I know that they said that if you want this to be for pipes as well, then let us know and we'll add it. And then later on they confirmed, okay, we'll add it in 1.1. So I think we're going to be getting the right angle pipes. But it seems like this curved pipe is also getting an option for curved belts, because this I don't believe you can do in 1.1, this curved option here. So it seems like they're adding a build option that you have for pipes onto the belts, and a build option that you have for belts onto the pipes. So it seems like they're trying to align the two, where if you have a build option for pipes, it's going to be the same with belts and vice versa. So that's a really great change if that's the case, and it's going to make things like setting up these kinds of coal factories quite efficient. And a quick dab at the end. Yeah, so it looks like that's all that they've teased for 1.1. But I'm sure that there's going to be a lot more videos coming, teasing more options coming in 1.1 or new features. I'm really looking forward to it. I'm thinking potentially I might do another playthrough because of all the things I learned in my first 1.0 playthrough, but we'll see what comes in the end for 1.1. And hopefully if there's controller support and it comes to consoles, that might be an option for another playthrough as well. It'd be quite interesting to see if maybe it's playable on Steam Deck, because then I can just sit in bed on my Steam Deck with controller support and play it on my Steam Deck and just stream it from my computer. That'd be quite cool. So let me know what you guys think. What do you think is going to be coming in 1.1 on top of what they've already teased? And leave a comment with that, and like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.